Alright, how's it going? Welcome to week 63. I've had a pretty good week this week, I hope you have too. Nice solid training, not lots of hours, did a good TT this week on Tuesday. It's a definite season's best. I actually felt like I was riding my bike for a change. Had a good couple of runs, one of them absolutely drenched, soaked through. Heavens just opened, this kind of summer weirdness that we're getting in a minute with extreme weather stuff. 3 good solid swims during the week. Yeah, it's been pretty solid. Actually, the repercussions of coming off my bike last week on my knee means that I have had a few little niggles with my bad old knee, which has been a little bit of a worry, but nothing to worry about too much, I don't think, anyway, at the moment. Anyway, here's a little bit of a montage of the kind of training that I've been doing this week. Here it is.
Oh God.
A little bit damp. So this weekend just gone, we were supposed to be down in Cornwall for Boardmasters Festival, spend the weekend with some mates. The winds were super high, 30-40 mile an hour winds. The festival was cancelled. We went down to Cornwall anyway to spend the weekend with our friends. My friend Dean, who lives in Wadebridge, and his wife Tracy and his family, and Gary and Hannah, who were visiting as well. I just wanted to put a couple of clips of the weekend in there because it was a fantastic weekend. I don't get to see these guys very often. Went for a lovely meal at 15, Jamie Oliver's restaurant, or at least one of the ones he's still got that's open. The weather was absolutely crazy. The waves were 16 foot high. And here's a few clips of what we got up to with these amazing people that mean the absolute world to me. Right, so we just need a simple graph. So along the bottom I'm going to have the months, so from June, July, August, September, October, November. Now I know we're in August, but I started all this back in June. And up the side we're going to have the times that I'm trying to run, from the slowest time that I know I've been in June to the time I want to be in December. So June through to December. Got the slowest time, 27:45. That's what I knew I could run in June for 5k, so that's all good. Where I want to be in December, when I get to here, is I want to be at 21 minutes. I want to go under 21 minutes for 5k. So we need to draw a straight line, as straight as I can. I'm terrible with things like this. From here to here. So obviously that gives us a marker for July, and August, September, October, November. So obviously, if I was trying to run sub 16 minutes, I'd find out that here I'd be trying to run something that was so significantly out of reach here. There's just no point in even trying to pursue it. What it does mean is that now we can work out per month how much quicker I'd have to be, and then we can look at whether that's actually achievable. So let's work those times out. Okay, so now we've got this far. So 27:45 in June means that in July I'm going to have to run 26:37, which I did, faster. In August, 25:29, well I've actually already run faster than that. September I'm going to need to get down to 24:21. 23:13 in October. November I'm going to need to run 22:05, and then with a goal of getting down to 21 or below 21 by December. That works out to be that every month I've got to try and run a 5k 1 minute and 8 seconds faster every single month along the way. So what does that work out to be every kilometre for that 5k? Well, it works out to be 14 seconds per kilometre quicker. So then we need to start getting into the mathematics of whether that's achievable. So that's when you need to sit down and do some actual kind of planning and thinking about how you're going to lose 14 seconds per month per kilometre to be able to run that faster time each month. There's lots of things that come into play, of course. So if you're an elite athlete and you're at the very edge of your ability and you've been training for years and years and you've optimised nearly everything, the gains are going to be far less than for somebody like me who has a lot of options open to them as it stands at the moment. So here are some of the things that you can kind of look into and try and see what kind of savings you might be able to make each month. So across all three sports, there are technical improvements that can be made. Obviously with swimming, we're trying to improve our technique a lot of the time. Swimming, as they say quite often, is about 90% technique. On the bike, there's obviously things to do with cadence and the way you're actually riding, but in terms of running, there's good drills that you can do to be improving there. So I need to focus on that, make sure my core works up together, make sure I do all my run drills, which I've been neglecting, but I'm going to need to start bringing into play. So that's going to be one of my focuses over the next couple of months, is to start working on my run technique. Obviously with swimming and cycling, there's also some hydrophobic and some aerodynamic changes that can be made to make yourself go faster, but obviously in a running sense, that's not something that really can be looked into. There's also motivation from goal setting. Just the very fact of doing this and writing those numbers down means that every single session that I'm doing is focused and I'm motivated to go out and do it because I know there's a fixed term goal that I'm trying to achieve. Then there's going to be increases in fitness. Now obviously I'm going to be able to train more effectively and more efficiently and more consistently now that I'm not injured. So obviously I'm going to get some fitness gains, which should mean that I should in theory run faster. If I'm not, then I'm clearly doing something very wrong. And then there's another big factor, literally big factor, the fact that I'm losing weight. Now there's a huge amount of research into weight loss and how much faster you run, but ultimately I'm sure you'd all agree that if I gave you a backpack with 5 kilos in it, you'd probably run slower than if you didn't have that backpack on your back. The actual numbers, there's a lot of kind of folklore and kind of guesswork based around it, but actually a lot of the research kind of backs this up a little bit, and it works out approximately, and obviously distance and everything else comes into effect here, but for every pound you lose, you normally run 2 to 2.5 seconds quicker per mile. Now if we equate that into kilometres, then even if we take a conservative estimate of say 2 seconds per kilometre quicker for every pound loss, my weight loss goal is to lose 2.3 kilos a month. So if I'm going to lose 2 seconds per kilometre and I'm going to lose 5 pounds, that should equate to being about 10 seconds per kilometre faster just from the weight loss stuff. Now obviously I've lost an awful lot more weight than I was planning on doing, and that's obviously reflected in the fact that my times are quicker than I'm planning for them to be at the minute, but that will slow down automatically. So I've got to run each kilometre 14 seconds faster per month, and my weight loss alone should give me 10 seconds. I would hope that my fitness gains would allow me another 4 seconds per month, which is why I'm going to rubber stamp this as being an achievable goal, because I've done the mathematics on it. And also if I add in the kind of technical aspects in terms of the technical side of my running stuff into this as well, as my weight comes down, I'll also be able to run in slightly lighter trainers, those kind of things. Fingers crossed, this should be an achievable goal. Now for some of you this might be a little bit kind of too much. I've done this for my weight loss, the bike stuff, the swimming stuff, and for the running stuff. But this is just a little insight into how I set my goals. It's really important when you're setting smart goals that you don't just think about the specifics of it or the time measurement of it, but also that what you're doing is actually achievable. There's nothing more demotivating than setting your goals too high. They have to stretch you, they have to stress you and give you some kind of something to aim at. But obviously if they're too high for you to achieve, then that's really going to have an impact and you'll just give up effectively. So anyway, that's this week. And this time next week, we're going to be in France. We're going to be in the middle of France, somewhere near La Rochelle, near Fontenay-le-Comte, which is where the Tour de France was last year for the first 3 stages, going back over to see my dad. So I don't know what shape the vlog's going to take next week. I haven't really got any plans in terms of what I'm going to talk about. It'll probably be quite short because I won't have time to film it. And also the uploading kind of speed there is a bit of a nightmare. So the next couple of weeks are probably going to be shorter, very easy, quick vlogs to talk about, but I've wanted to talk about how I go about making sure my goals are achievable, and maybe giving you an idea of how you might be able to work out what you can achieve over from 1 month to the next, and make it something that actually gives you some sense of progress as you're doing it. Anyway, that's enough for this week, and I'll see you again in the next one.